Well, welcome, welcome, welcome all, welcome all, welcome all. And you should be getting the new email now with the new address. We was having a little technical difficulties. Facebook decided they did not want to let this sister chat happen. So with that being said, I know for sure this chat was supposed to happen. So I'm just waiting for my sister Ontaria to come on. And then as soon as she come through, then we'll be able to make this happen. I tell you, when a good thing happens, you can always tell. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, my sister?
Good.
And welcome to our segment of the Sister Sister Chat.
Hey,
How nice is this?
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So, while I'm telling you why I'm excited, while I'm waiting for everybody to start their chats and everything, and welcome everybody in here, it's like, so this is an emotional moment for me, but it's also a happy moment for me because I'm with my buddy, my pal, my girl, and my godmother. Her name was Ro Reed, and I don't know if you guys remember. I started a a page in her honor, and it was called um, Rose Allen. So with Rose Allen came on, it was supposed to be a place where all women can go and get information that they needed, or what they wanted to say, things they couldn't say, or where they can go whenever they needed to talk to another sister or another friend. So it was supposed to be this page where everybody can go and get whatever they needed. You needed a friend, you needed a doctor, a psychologist, a sister, whatever you needed, a minister. It was a bunch of sisters all together on this group page, and this was supposed to be my dedication to my mom, Ro, because that's who she was to me. She was my everything. Met her at 16, instantly took me in, became my mother of all mothers, and then next thing you know, here we go. She passed away. And I was like, what am I going to do? What do we do? And I remember she said, we're going to still do what we wanted to do before this all happened. And what we were supposed to do is we were supposed to went on her radio line. We were supposed to open up lines to different women that needed to talk, to say, hey, I got a situation going on, or hey, I'm alone. Or better yet, hey. And when she passed, I was like, how are we going to do this now? So I said, the page. And I said, okay, how are we going to do this now? Wasn't working. It wasn't moving. And then lo and behold, a major catastrophe happened called Quarantine 2020, and things became birthed. And here's our baby. So this is dedicated to her. And I hope that it's something that I say, or that you say, or that it is said, that we say, that helps somebody to answer the word or answer the call to, hey. So everybody's new here. So let me formally introduce everyone to my mentor, my friend, my buddy, my go-to, my her, Miss Kim Ontaria Wilson.
Hey,
I don't have the button. I don't have the button. So
you,
I'm
you
just
know
gonna do
what's
it here.
funny? And round of applause. So what's funny is
Oh wow.
those people that I've met early,
Did I
if
lose
it
it?
was just
Okay.
if it was just
There you go.
a casual friendship, I've always been introduced as Kim. And so when I started using Ontaria, and then I kind of merged the two together, I always get that type of introduction. So it's Kim Ontario Wilson. So I just want to say thank you for bringing me on, Shauna. I'm excited that we are here. We do have quite a few years of friendship that we have that's been solidified. I'm excited for this new journey for you and the radio show that you have going on. For those who are signing on to my watch party, the name of the show is called the No BS Duo Show. So it's normally Shauna Williams along with her cousin. So they have this awesome online radio live stream that they have. But on Wednesday, she's doing a sister chat. So I am just waiting for her to get back on. Something happened. There
No,
she
I'm
is.
right here. I'm right here.
The whole time.
No,
Wow.
the whole time. The whole time. I'm never leaving your side. I shall never leave your side. I just wrote that.
So
Okay.
I'm doing a watch party. So there are some people on my watch party that are signing in, which is phenomenal.
And I want to welcome you all, but I also want to introduce something else. So with this show, you have the opportunity to join in, not only on the chat, but also the opportunity to come in and sit in as a panel guest. But before we do that, I want to make sure that everyone understand and know who they're sitting here with. I don't think they have an idea or yet a clue, because how about I didn't know? And I was like, we've known each other, worked together, worked at UPenn together, we did the side by side work. But then one day the question she asked was, who do people do, like, who is Kim? Who is Ontaria? Who is this woman? And she said, do people know who I am? I'm like, do you know who you are? And she laughed at me. She was like, I'm just Kim. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not just Kim. So I'm gonna ask you the magical question. Who is Kim?
So you want who is Ontaria or who is Kim? Or do you?
You can tell me both of them, honey. We got time. We're quarantined, okay? We are quarantined.
Okay.
Let's have it.
So am I'm just a woman that loves people. I love seeing people live in their fullness or walking in their fullness. And I realized that I live my life based on that, on what are those things that I can do that can help somebody else. And so I would just say that I'm a person who, I just have a big heart. I love people. I love entertainment. I love telling stories, my stories, other people's stories, through the arts, whether it be in, writing, writing books, writing stage plays, screenplays, creating choreography, whatever it may be. That's who I am. And I would actually beg to change that question. I kind of, depending on who I'm talking to, I become that for that person or for those groups of people. So it can vary.
Okay, I like that. I like the fact that you said it's not who I am, but who I am to you. Like, one minute you was my coworker, then the next minute you was my boss. And the day you became my boss, that was like, wow. And then it was funny because I have to come back on the screen so everybody can see it, because it was like so funny how we did this.
I'm alone.
No, you're not alone. I'm just bringing you straight forward so everybody can see you,
Okay.
see you and not just see me.
Okay.
But this is what was funny. So I did my monologue. So this is when she became my boss. So you thanked me for the show. I want to thank you for the opportunity to do what I always wanted to do and what I was doing in communities. But you brought in my horizon where everybody else was like, what? I mean, everybody knew I was a clown, but you really did she really got skills like that. And you did our play, and I did my monologue, and you said I left you.
That was till death was part, right?
That was till death was part.
Okay.
And you said I left you with a after I did the monologue. And it was like, I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I never saw that side of you, the director. And that was like, for you, that moment was for me. I was like, you on that side? Okay, she's gonna be critical. And you turned the table to the point where it left me in awe. And I was like, wow, I love what she's doing. And I love this person that, like, who is she? This is not my friend that I worked with, that I gave assignments to, that this ain't her. Who is this this girl? Who is this woman?
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me the biggest tip of my life. Um, I remember the scene I had to do was when I had to hear my niece tell me that her husband cheated on her. And I had to show that anger. And the anger I was showing was it was good, but it wasn't where you needed it to be. So you whispered a devastating moment in my life that you didn't know I had. And you said, I want you to look at this paper. I want you to look at this paper and I want you to tell me how you would feel if you got that news. And I want you to act out how you felt right now. I wanted to scream, to kill. And then you said, that's it.
Was that the time we were in my house and we had
Yes,
rehearsal and we were all
yes.
sitting in a circle? We did it. Okay.
And that moment,
That was a
it was
huge.
that moment right there. I was like, wow, wow, what a gift. Because you was able to do something that I usually do. I say, okay, I want you to feel or use it or compare it to something. You did more than just say compare it. You said, I want this situation, I want you to make this thing live.
Because that's what most people. When you see actors and you watch films and TV shows and you go to theater, most people think that, all you have to do is just read a few lines, speak the lines, do a few actions, and you're out of there. Acting is so much more in depth. You have to become it. You have to live in the moment. You have to be able to remove yourself to allow that character to truly live. And that's what a lot of people get really misconstrued. And then when you see them on stage, that's why that scene might seem empty. Because it's like
Right,
they didn't pour, what did they pour into this moment? You know what I mean? So there
right.
are different things that you can do to help you get to that point. What I did realize is that in doing that type of exercise with people, you have to be very careful, because I do remember in that moment we had one or two people who ran out of the house and went on a emotional turn. So I don't do that anymore. I found new ways of being able to do that same thing. Still kind of along those lines, but not as,
Intense.
yeah,
So
yeah.
talking about intense, can you tell me about the author, Kim?
So my authorship has, okay, so for the past, I want to say 2.5 years, I've joined forces with Sharon Monet, who is the owner of Penn Legacy Publishing. And
Mm-hmm.
I was a member of one of her co-author books, which was called Bruised, Broken, and Blessed. That was the first time I actually put my pen to being a part of a book. And in that book, I basically just shared with people who I was, some of the things I've experienced in my life, some of my ups, some of my downs, um, some of the many awesome opportunities that I was able to have, just growing in my artistry. I also shared some of my lows, because there were some times when, things just didn't go right. People didn't think I could do a certain something. I doubted myself. I questioned myself. I turned away from opportunity because I thought I wasn't good enough. But then realizing that God created me specifically for what I needed to be for Him and for the masses. So that was Bruised, Broken, and Blessed. In 2018, I believe. Yeah. In 2018, I wrote a stage play called Beautiful Toxicity. And Beautiful Toxicity is basically a play about 6 women from different walks of life, different cultural backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. They're just different women, but they all come together and form a bond. They form a friendship. And this is actually the cover of Beautiful Toxicity. For those who might be interested in looking for it, there we go. So what I did with that play was I turned it into a book because there were quite a few people who came to the play and they were like, I wanted more. I wanted to see more. I wanted to know more. And the reason for that sentiment is because the way I introduced the characters was through movement, through poetry, and through monologue. So it was very interactive, very fun and exhilarating and all that stuff, but they wanted more. So I'm like, okay, how in the world can I give them more of these, more in-depth information about who these women are, about this friendship, about all the stuff they went through, because they went through some stuff. But in the end, they realized, who they were for themselves, who they were for each other. And what I did was I turned it into a book, which is actually a novel, but it touches so many different areas that we as people go through. And in the back of the book, there's actually a section where after you go through the read, there are actually a list of questions that I ask people to kind of search within themselves. And I call it the coaching corner. Because there are a lot of people that you meet along the way. They share things with you and you want to give sound advice. But in order for anybody to be able to give advice or to help people along the way, people have to acknowledge things within themselves that are troublesome. Like, why are you going through the things you're going through? What are your tics, or what's causing you, who are such a beautiful person, to have all this toxic stuff in your life? Where did it get there? Where did it come? I mean, when did it get there? Where did it come from? Who were those people? What are those things that you need to rid yourself of in order to become who God has called you to be? So that was Beautiful Toxicity. So it's actually in Target online, Walmart online, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, Amazon. So it's floating out there. So I've been really, really blessed with that opportunity. And the last book that I've been a part of, which is being released May the 10th, but our coming out day is May the 2nd. And that book is called Slay Your Legacy. And again, it was a brainchild of Sharon Monet. I keep going the wrong way. A brainchild of Sharon Monet and Penn Legacy. And basically, in this book, there are 9 women who share their lives. They share how they became the successful women they are today. So they give backstory, we give some backstory, we share testimonies. But the goal was to give people things or tips or encouragement or whatever we could do to help them pursue their legacy and be able to slay who they are and what God has called them to do.
Got you. But you know what else I wanted to know?
What's that?
Okay, little technical difficulty. Sorry about that. So, can you tell me more about Toxidia, one of your main characters, one of your women in there? If
Beautiful
you could
Toxicity.
Yes.
Oh. I'm going to use Ngoyo. Ngoyo is from West Africa. She is feisty. She loves men. She loves meeting new people. But she has a very dark past that she hasn't shared with anyone. And
Jared, I need my pictures.
The girlfriends, they realize, that they start to question, like, why are you so mean? Why are you so tough? Why are you giving yourself to so many men, without thought? Why are you allowing yourself to be used for the sake of just a sexual excursion. Why are you so frustrated? So she is one that we actually get to see for face value.
Uh-huh.
We get to see her be vulnerable when she gets around her friends. And then when she starts to unpack what she's gone through, everyone now understands her why.
Okay.
And what the
Okay.
goal is in the friendship is to try to get her to see herself, the beauty in who she is. Because she's a beautiful girl, beautiful woman. Um, the sisterhood, it's all about the sisterhood. All about the sisterhood. So that would be Ngoyo.
Okay.
One of my
Okay.
favorites.
So with that also being said, so you have you're the author, you're the actress, and it goes right back to who am I to you? You're also the praise dancer, you're the teacher. So how and what will we do to impact other people to impact their gifts? Like, did it all of a sudden just blow open and you just said one day, I'm gonna write a book, or we're gonna do acting? Like, how did this little person packed together, well together, come to be, and how or what would you say to a woman who has that same gift but don't know how to unpack it?
I didn't unpack because I wanted to unpack. Like I didn't become those things because I always wanted to be those things. I've always desired to be a dancer. That's my passion. I eat, sleep, breathe, dance. As a child, the moment I heard music, I had to move. I would have visions of and dreams of me being on Soul Train and being one of the Soul Train dancers and Solid Gold dancers back in the day. So I'm kind of telling my age a little bit. And I love seeing people perform. So I was always drawn to that. And so at an early age, I started dancing predominantly like street dance, hip hop. I got involved with the group called Rennie Harris Pure Movement back in 1991. And Rennie Harris Pure Movement is a premier international hip hop theater dance company that are really, they've even become ambassadors for the United States in hip hop. So I'm blessed to have been a part of that journey, that historical moment. I was with Pure Movement for about 6 years. And then when I left them, I decided I had the opportunity, I made a decision, but I was presented the opportunity to go on tour. And the first person I toured with was Gina Thompson, and she was signed to Puffy. And she sang the song, "The Things You Do Makes Me Keep Running to You." That was her. So I went on tour with her for a little bit. After her, I kind of chilled a little bit and I came back to the dance world again. I was with a group called Bodies in Motion. I was with them for a few years as well. And then from there, that's when it propelled into the Eve situation. I danced with Eve for a while.
Okay.
And
Like our Eve, that Eve.
I just said that I would dream about being on Soul Train. When I
Uh-huh.
walked through that studio and the doors opened up and I was
Yes.
at Soul Train studio, but not as one of just the people that are dancing, but I was there
Right.
to perform.
Yes.
That for me was a moment of, yeah, like this is it. Like I knew it all my life. Like I knew this is where I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be doing. And from there we went on to, it was my same group of friends. So I got to give a shout out to Zakia Fatine, who is a sister to me. I love her dearly. She was one of my dance partners. The dance group, The Untouchables from Philly. We were the ones who were doing the choreography and performing with both Eve and Teddy Pendergrass. So after the journey with Eve, then we went on to dance with Teddy Pendergrass, and we actually performed his last live recorded performance in LA. And that experience was just like, this Teddy Pendergrass. Like, oh my gosh, like me? What? Turn off the lights. I was like, okay, all right, well. But anyway, I just, again, getting back to dance. Dance is my, I love. Like, I can watch dancers all day long. When I'm frustrated, when I'm going through, a part of my healing is through movement. When I write my plays, my initial visions are a movement and poetry. So they don't always start out, even with the books. I see things, and when I see it, I see people moving, I see the action, and that's how things come to me.
Well, my moment was when we went out on stage, and I was like, yo, and the lights came on, and I was like, okay, this is really happening. Okay, this is really, really happening. Like, I had to put myself back in, and people don't realize that's not it's easy. It looks easy, but that's not an easy thing. And like I said, I can direct all day, but the people is behind me. I see the people in front of me, and I can speak all day in my comfort zone among my friends and my associates. But then when I have to go inside a whole room of an auditorium, and I looked up and saw everybody go all the way up, I was like, oh, okay, this is real. I had to literally put myself back in your house for certain scenes.
Wow.
Just to bring my comfort zone back. Just like, I didn't see them. I saw where we were. I went back to rehearsal where TC was sitting on the steps, and you was sitting over by the drum set, and we was waiting in the kitchen for the next move or the next scene. Like, that was the curtains for us. But when the first scene came on, and I never forget, my phone was with me because it was a part of the act, and my sister said, close your legs, we can look and see up your dress. And I was like, I'm glad I had my phone. It was a part of the scene. So I had to act like I didn't see her send that text in the middle of our scene. It was like that time when Chris was it Chris Brown, Chris Tucker was on Chris Tucker was on live set with doing Rush Hour 2. And the phone rang, and he was with Chan, and he was like, you with Jackie Chan right now? He was like, yeah, he's right here. He's like, can I say hello? He's like, he want to say hello. And Jackie Chan on the phone came on and said hello. He was like, hi. He was like, we're on the set, dude. Why? Like, he was like, oh, he like we're filming right now. You want to talk to me right now? Call back later. And it was like, and they laughed, and it was like, that was real for me. Like, when he did that, I was like, I remember that happened. My sister said, close my legs. And I was in the middle of a scene. Like, I couldn't go, oh, close my legs. And everybody like, and I could see you up there saying, what is she doing? That's not part of the scene. Like, but I nicely fixed my legs, and no one had a clue until today what happened. But that was that moment for me. Like, when you went in, like, I went to dance on air. That was like nothing. I was doing what I do. I was dancing, but in my different element, I became something different. So, talking about the different elements and coming and being, I guess we'll go to the topic of the situation now that we warmed up. But before we do that, I'm going to say hello to some of our guests that has popped on that I would love to acknowledge. Like Tracy Stilettos, that's my queen of stilettos, honey. You got to see her. It's funny because I had this whole thing set up, and Facebook deleted it because of a time schedule. And I'm like, how you just gonna go and cancel something that's not even on your profile or your platform? Like, really? Did you do that? So I'm trying to get the pictures up that I really want to show, that I really want to see, but the pictures not coming up the way I want them to come up. Eventually, maybe they'll show. But I want to say hello. My brother is listening in. Hey, William.
Hey, William.
And many, many more is coming through. So please do start your watches. It's about to get interesting. We're really about to go in now. And in going in, the whole subject of the matter was how to fix your crown. Now, immediately, people are saying, how do you fix your crown? And they're becoming maybe just a little offended because they're like, what is that supposed to mean? And fix your crown has a very wide band of what that could mean. It doesn't mean that it's falling. It means that it's tilted, maybe because you need help in something to make it straighten up. Like, as a friend would say, I just was trying to help you fix your dress. That's fixing your crown.
Right.
Because your appearance means something. You may have said something, and the way you said it came off a little rough or abrupt. So, with that being said, now you're like helping you fix your crown by saying maybe you need to have said it this way, or maybe you could have done it that way. Fixing your crown is saying what we said today. It's okay to say, I'm not okay. It's okay to feel like, to everybody else, the perception of what everybody else may think. No, I don't have it all going on. And I'm not going to lead myself to believe that I do. And I'm going to sit back and say, you know what? It's okay that I don't have it going on. And it's okay that I don't have it. It's okay that I'm not here. Right. It's okay to say that. So, can you elaborate on the okay theory?
So I guess I'll start from the perspective of me being somewhat of a public figure, right?
Right.
I'm an artist. I perform. People know who I am. There are some people who, when they see the pictures that I put up on social media, you know, with all of my performances, what's coming up next? I'm sending out all this positive energy, positive vibes. They look to whatever I post and whatever I share to encourage them. But there are times when things don't go up and I'm not putting information out there about plays, or even in the midst of that stuff, I could still be going through. And people only look at face value. And there are times when there are certain people that just have the discernment to ask, are you good? You okay? Or those people who really know you can look in your eyes or hear the crack in your voice and know that you are not.
Right.
And then there are times when you know within yourself and you're able to acknowledge that you're not. I will share because we're talking candidly. I was in a car accident this past weekend. I was sheltered in place. I was in my house, and a car ran into my house, and I was injured.
Putting information out there about plays, or you're. I'm listening.
So I had a moment where I was talking to people. I was talking to some of my cast members from my play Detox, and I was sharing with them what was going on, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what happened." Da, 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 da. And the energy was up, and then all of a sudden, there was one trigger question that I didn't even realize was a trigger for me. Excuse me, until it was asked, and then when it was asked, I froze for a second, and my memory was jogged, and towards the tail end, I started feeling myself get heavy. And I had to end the call. Then I went to go talk to my mom, and I still felt so heavy. So I was like, let me just go to bed. Let me just go lay down. And while I was laying in bed, I just heard my voice say to me, because I didn't open my mouth,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay. But then I just started repeating, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. As much as when things happen, when traumatic things happen, for me, I try to keep moving. I'm like, I gotta move. I gotta move. I gotta do this. I gotta get this done. I gotta da 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 da. But when you get still, something happens in your stillness.
Yes.
Your
Yes, it does.
stillness allows you to see what it really is. And I
Mm-hmm.
thank God that I was able to know what it was and to reach out to someone and tell them, hey, I'm not okay.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
most times people keep it to themselves and they suffer in silence. But in this, I knew that something wasn't right with me. And I reached out to my best friend and I texted her and I'm like, listen, I'm not okay. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling a little depressed. I'm feeling like I'm just not right. And she was like, well, do you want to talk? I was like, it'll just be a one-sided conversation because I'm crying too hard to even get words out,
Right.
But she knew what to do. She knew to pray for me because that's our first go-to.
Right.
You're going through, let's pray right now.
Right now. Right now. Right now.
So I knew who to go to because I knew what she would do. And I knew that she still, even though we weren't standing next to each other, she had my
Right.
arms up. She was holding me up.
Yes. Yes. And that is so powerful because people don't recognize or even really understand the power of a virtual drive of praise or a virtual prayer or a virtual presence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when, because it's funny because everyone I'm in some type of connection to, I immediately feel something is wrong, something happened. And I immediately go, hey, what's going on with you? Just like I did with you. I didn't see the pictures, but I was like, I need to call Kim. And this is how this was birthed because even though it was an open door situation that happened, this is an open door situation for us because God calls us a way to make things very uncomfortable for us
Mm-hmm.
because we get comfortable where we are and he has a purpose for us to do something. We go, okay, I'm gonna do it. All right, later. I got you. Okay, well, right after this. Well, I don't know if that's you're not talking to me. And
Yeah.
then he goes, he goes Verizon. You hear me now? Like seriously, like he does that to us. And we go, okay, now I hear you. Like we have some projects that he gives it to us and it's not ready yet. Like what happened with me. Mom Rowe been going for quite some time, but yet now we're doing what she did. Like last night, I talked in turn. I could not get myself together. I thought it was because it was the excitement that this was happening. I was going to be on the show with you, and me and you was going to be doing something big and new, something that we talked about doing. We was like, we're going to go in the park, and we're going to get a table, and we're going to record it, and we're going to talk to people, and we're going to make it. God was like, yeah, it's gonna happen, but it ain't gonna happen like that. But
Yeah.
y'all, it's okay if that's how y'all thinking. Okay, he's funny. He's funny. And when
Mm-hmm.
he made me, I keep telling people, if you want to know, God had uh, a character, his sense of humor. Look at me and watch how you laugh and be like, "See, I told you he had a sense of humor." But he's just funny, all in all. He's just funny. Period. The way he do things, and then the way he come at us and be like, "Oh, that's what you thought. Oh, you thought it was gonna happen like that."
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, as you were saying, she lifted up your hands for you, and that was powerful.
It was that Moses. Was it Moses and Aaron?
Yes, one side, and they was able to keep fighting and win the battle. Yes,
And
that's
that's how
Bible.
we
That's
are.
Bible right
So that's
there.
how so in the whole sisterhood, because we were talking about sister helping you to fix your crown.
Yes,
I have a group of friends, girlfriends / sisters that I know I can go to. And all they need is a text message, a phone call,
that's it.
and they're there. We're there for each other.
That's it.
And so it's like having your own community, like Beautiful Toxicity. These are all women from different walks of life, different background, living their lives. Some are married, some are single. Some have children, some don't. You know, some have like their masters and doctorates, and some have their associates. Like, it doesn't matter what all the extra fluff is. It's that sisterhood that keeps us. And like one of them lives in Chicago. One lives in Atlanta. One lives in Jersey. Three of us live in Philly. I got one more that lives in Philly that's outside of that, but she's still like, you're talking about, we'll go to bed, we'll like, they're like this sister. So I have those people. I thank God that I have those women in my life, because they are there to hold me up and I'm there for them as well. So it's
Yes.
prayer, it's encouragement, it's building business, doing business together. Like, there's so many different things that happen when you allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to allow another woman in your life to be able to challenge you, to pray for you, and not thinking that they're there for ill gain.
Wow. Wow. And it's very likely sometimes that it's people feel like, well, who are you to tell me? I know what I'm doing. Sometimes it's not even about you not knowing what you're doing. It's just the fact that somebody else sees something that could be an improvement, or something that even enlightens more than what you already got gone through. Or better
Right.
yet, they can see through you.
Mm-hmm.
But because you don't want that mask that you have on your face, because you're okay,
You
another
know what
sister
it's
can't
like?
come and tell you
You
nothing.
know what it's like? It's like all of us walk around, and this is nothing but God right now. All of us walk around being pregnant. Not literally,
Ooh,
but in the spiritual and in the figurative sense.
yes,
You're
yes,
pregnant with something. And I feel like this, your sisterhood, those women are your midwives. And in the natural, you let the midwife do what it is that she's supposed to do. You might ask questions, but you don't buck back, and turn your nose up and walk away and be like, oh no, I'm good. You let her be there to be who she's supposed to be along each section, each trimester of your pregnancy. And she's
yes,
even there while you're giving birth.
yes, yes,
And
yes, yes,
she's
yes,
there while all of the stuff, the nasty stuff, the birthing, while all the birthing is there. Who's there with you? She's there with you. You trust her. You get to know her. And there's a bond that will never be broken because this woman was with you along the way.
Now, I'm glad you said that. Understand the ones who's really in the pregnancy with you for your pregnancy gain and not their own.
But I'm gonna challenge that, because it's not necessarily a gain, because we're all pregnant at the same time. We
Say it
all
again.
we all have things that God is doing in us, and we're there along the way. If you need somebody to pray, if you need a resource, if you need whatever that thing is, you're there. So if you come into any relationship with the sense of what I can gain from this, you've already failed. You've already negated the relationship.
Woo! Come back, come back, come back, come back. I need to do an Ace Ventura's moment. What did you say about that one more time? If you come in and do what?
If you come into any relationship
Uh-huh.
with the desire of personal gain, you've already
Uh-huh.
failed.
I think that's what I'm supposed to say. And that concludes our show for the night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for coming, because you just really just nailed the whole segment of the whole point. You really don't have to worry about the backbiters that's coming in for their own self gain, because they will be revealed. I say it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about pulling
it's just like when when it says the truth will always come out, or
honey, the sheets will always be pulled off. Trust me,
light
a
will
wind is
always
coming.
shed on the darkness, or whatever the case is.
Yes.
Even if you get a little inkling of something, you know what I mean? That's an inkling. That's a door. That's a key to look like a little. You're looking through the peephole, and there's a little, and your eye starts to like, oh, that's what that is. You already have enough to know. So now it's up to you to determine how you treat that person in that relationship.
And
And
trust
you have
me,
to
you will
call it.
know.
You got to call it for what it is.
Gotta call it. And call it. And let me tell you something. This is what I find that we do
you
too.
can't call it for what it is without love.
That's what I was just about to say.
Because if you come at it from any other vantage point, you've lost the person. They don't see their need to change. You know what I mean?
Girl, wait.
So there's weight, like, we all get mad, we all get angry, but it's like how you approach a situation will most likely determine the final outcome.
Let me fix my crown. Hold on. You got your crown fixed? All right, ladies in the house, fix the crown. Men, if you in the house with a woman who's watching this, fix her crown with her. Help her out.
Hold up. If there's a man, if there's a man on here,
yes, it is. His name is Jim Merchant.
Like, king, you got a crown. You are not void of this. This is a human thing. It's all about humanity. You know what I'm saying? And even though we think about things differently, your approach to a situation could possibly determine the final outcome.
Woo! Honey.
Like, how many situations have you been in, or anybody that's on the watch party or on your live stream? How many times have you been in a situation that angered you or frustrated you, and you lashed out? So when you lashed out, there were consequences. There were negative consequences. So now after the consequences are done, now you're sitting back feeling regret, feeling anger, feeling, like questioning yourself, like, why did I do that? How many people are in prison because of them acting in anger? Or being mad with somebody and just...
Girl.
How many situations have we seen on the news where somebody was mad at somebody, they reacted negligently out of anger, and somebody else got hurt? Now you're paying for it. Consequences. There are consequences to everything we do. So this is for our kings too, queens and kings, whoever's on it. This is a thing for humanity. It's not just women fixing crowns.
Look, I'm gonna say it one more time. I need to put this disclaimer out there because she's on the roll. If you don't have your glass poured, you might want to go get that bottle now, because you're going to need a drink after this. I'm just trying to tell you, you're going to need a serious drink. You're going to need a serious drink after this. I'm just saying, you're going to need a serious drink after this, because whew, it ain't easy, women. And let me also tell you, ladies, gentlemen, start your watches. This may not necessarily be for you, but it may be for somebody that you know. We have over 4,000 to 5,000 people on this line right now. We have about 27,000 people that we're connected to, depending on how many friends we have on our friends list. You never know who may be encouraged by what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying to you all, start your watches, grab your bottles. I'm giving you a quick little time, like 5-second intermission to grab your bottles, because you're gonna need a drink in a few more minutes. Because the way she going, I look, I had my dinner. I had my dinner ready. I had my dinner ready. Can you see it? Can you...
I didn't have dinner. I didn't even have breakfast.
Oh, so I'm not going to eat. Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Right here. I'm going to sit right here. I'm not going to eat. I'm going to sit right here. And I'm trying. And the reason I know some of y'all going to be like, no, 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 no. Why you stop her? Why you stop her? Because I needed to start your watches and understand the seriousness. I need you. I'm not going to eat. Okay. 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 So, yeah, start your watches because what's the next level that this conversation is about to go to is about to be intense. So, yes, we have a gentleman on here, Jim Merchant. Hello, sir. We have Shauna on the line. We have Adrian and Tracy. Will is still hanging in there with us, and so this is really what we need, especially right now, because we're all quarantined, we're all locked in the house, and this is the time that we need to get it straight and look straight. So when we walk out the door, we are straight. But understand, like she said, it's okay not to be okay. And don't you worry about those people in your camp because they will find their way out of the camp and it won't have to necessarily be done by you. With
You
that
know
being
what? Really quick, there are people. Some people are like leeches. They attach to you. They suck out what they can get. But the moment you start filling and feeding yourself with things that are elevating your immune system, um, they can't stay because it's negative. It's fighting them off. So you don't, when you know it, just start shifting gears.
shift,
Just
shift,
start, and they will fall off and dry up and curdle up because they'll see that you're not where they're supposed to be anymore.
did she just call them a leech? Wait a minute, I had to put my glasses on to even come closer. Did you say a leech? She said a leech. She said leeches. And trust me, but not only that, I want you to understand some things are just meant to happen, and that's going to be another segment we're going to discuss, but it's going to be discussed tonight for the mere function and partnership of understanding. Sometimes something negative has to happen in order for the positiveness to come out. Sometimes those things is put in your situation and in your runway to push you forward because you do understand it's because of our haters that we made it thus far.
Yeah.
And so every now and then, it's good to have a hater in your life because they keep you on your game. They keep you on your game. But
Yeah, but at the same time, they have an agenda. They have a job and a purpose. And sometimes you just gotta cut them off. And a lot of people think, though, I gotta have a hater in order for me to. No, you don't. You don't need to be knowledgeable of the hate because all that does is bring you negative energy. And when you allow yourself to be doused with gasoline, what's going to happen? Somebody throw a match, what's going to happen? You're going to blow up.
That's it.
Because you're still letting them do it. Remove yourself from that space.
You have to.
Some things that it's like, yeah, you got to let your haters hate. You're going to have your Judas. Okay, yeah. But Jesus called Judas out on his stuff.
Did she go back to the? Did she go back to
the book?
Did she go back to the book?
Excuse me, master. And he removed himself from the equation.
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact, he called them out and said, "Go do what you gotta do." Wait, okay. So right there, that told you, Jesus did a hood. So only a black man can be hood. I'm just saying. I had to go there.
And we're not supposed to be like, God didn't create us to be fools. He told us not to be foolish.
Don't be.
And we say, oh, I ain't gonna let them know that I know. Huh? No. Let them know that you know. call them out on what that thing is, and then you make your necessary adjustment. And I think one of the biggest problems with us is that we don't walk in the power. Like, it's a lot of people who are Christians and religious people, and we quote stuff and we throw it out there, but we don't walk in it. But if you really walked in what you said you believe, man, you wouldn't deal with half the stuff you allow yourself to deal with.
You wouldn't have to.
No, you would, because people will always. Jesus had Judas, Sadducees and Pharisees, had those people who didn't believe. He had all of that.
But when I say, but my point of saying that is, even in knowing, he wasn't stressed by it. He didn't allow that to define him.
Hold on, because he was still human.
The human side was there, but
there are some things that the Bible does not tell us about the experience.
Exactly, and that's where the crown come in at.
And if God says that he gets angry, and he gets saddened, and he's frustrated, what makes you think Jesus wasn't?
Said rewind back again. You said he was part, so therefore we can, because he did. So therefore we are.
We have his attributes, Shauna. We got his attributes. Where did those emotions come from? Where does joy come from? Where does peace come from? You have your good and you have your bad. Like, it's all intertwined.
It's in there. It's like Prego. It's in there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you really step up and you really think about, oh, here I go. Whew. When you say things like, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world.
That's in the world.
Oh, I believe it.
Let me give you a situation and see how much of that belief do you have.
It's not just a situation, because situations going to constantly come. It's what do you really believe?
And how do you handle it when you do?
Belief is your faith of you walking in it. So stop playing games. It's either you believe it or you don't. It's either you're going to walk in your power or you're not. That's the bottom line. So a lot of times, like, when people, when they're going through stuff, and I sit and I talk to people, and I'm like, so what do you say you believe? Because when you say you believe it, now you got somebody in front of you that's a witness to you saying that you believed it. Now what?
You hit him in the mouth.
Frank, I'm on an interview.
Oh.
Frank said you hit him in the mouth.
Frank can come in. Tell Frank he can wave.
Come wave.
He got a crown too.
Not just this way.
Hello, Frank.
Here. Real quick. No, ain't nobody gonna see all that. They can't.
Spray.
Oh. Wait, we have to be clean. He just came in. Hold on. Yeah, I spray his hands.
That's right. Coronavirus outside.
Coronavirus.
And while you saying, I'm gonna put a piece of skin in my mouth.
Coronavirus.
And for all of y'all that already know, I'm usually either eating or sitting in my car. Y'all already know. So while you're doing that, Ted made a large statement here. I'm gonna try to read it. I put it on the screen here.
We're talking about like fixing your crown and people walking and who they say.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the crown on your teeth.
Only you would come in and do that. Thank you, because she's been trying to make me shout, and I've been trying not to shout. And so I thought me something like funny.
One of the things we was talking about was like when people, like when you see something in somebody, like you call them out on it, like you say something about it instead of holding it in, like you deal with situations. Why?
Yes. Well, welcome Ted, Carol. Yes.
I'm on my live, and this is.
And welcome Frank to the sister room. You're about to get kicked out only to listen, but you can sit there with us because we want our men. Because like I said today, even though this is for the ladies, if the men have a better understanding of what we're dealing with and how we're dealing with it, maybe they'll have a different perspective of how to love us or understand us better. Because my thing is, if I don't know your craziness and I don't understand your craziness, how can I deal or live among your craziness?
He knows my craziness.
There you go.
It's things that he see that other people don't see. And he was
Right
like,
there.
like, for real? You going, really?
And by that, and like my Jared and my kids, my boys, they see my craziness. But the funny part about them seeing my craziness is they when they see it in the females that they get involved with, they're not surprised. They're like, oh, I know what she's going through. My mom went through that. Or I know what she
period
did.
is on.
Yeah, but luckily he's upstairs, so he didn't hear me say that. But yeah, Jared has a friend and he don't want to admit it. But nevertheless, okay. You know, woo, Jesus, girl, this room got hot for a minute. So Frank, thank you for the fumigation that you came in the room and sprayed upon us.
And
because
you notice he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Frank. That's Frank.
And he still ain't say nothing. That's my drummer in the room. Can you give a drummer some? So thanks for coming in and joining with us, Frank.
Oh, no problem.
You got a big thumb. Do that again.
So wait, this is the thing. This is when you go, oh, it has a voice. It spoke. So like I said, start your watches. My God. And Ted, I know Ted is going crazy right now because Ted want to come in this panel so bad. And I ain't letting Ted come in today. Ted, you ain't coming in today. You just got to stay right there in the chat. And,
Ted, he want to come in and be a part of the
That's a
oh yeah, but see, Ted, yeah, Ted gotta wait his turn. We gonna leave him on midnight, but I'm gonna let him come on the panel when all of us.
Nicole Frazier.
Yes, hey Nicole, welcome in, and then we have my cousin Sweet Love. That's my twin right there. Yes, that's my twin. That's Rochester. So Rochester's in the house. Iowa's in the house. Philly is definitely in the house. Pennsylvania is definitely listening in. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, please start your watches. Because if it may not necessarily be for you, but somebody might listen to something that you're listening to, and it may be just meant for them. You never know the seed that you plant. So talk about seeds. We're dealing right now with the subject we're on the part where it's coming to pruning. Because we talked about people being in, all right, see you, friend.
Like, all right, bye.
There you go. We just pruned him off. So he just got pruned off. So, and men, please don't think that we not shunning y'all. We need you to still, yes, we are family. That they are all my family in the house. And thank you, family. I appreciate you. I love the love. I appreciate you coming through. Start your watches, everybody. Start your watches, please, and share. You're fine. Let me know if you need me to
eat. I can eat and talk.
And yeah, she sure can, because I need her to eat because my stomach is like, I need you to eat because my stomach wants to eat too. So yeah, like I said, my family's in the house, y'all. So thank you, family. Thank you all for coming, and start your watches because we're ready going to a pruning section right now. In this pruning section, we're ready going right now. Like I said, y'all better get y'all bottles, get your glasses, get your jugs, because we about to go in. So the section that we're talking about, we say after going through the pruning, it's the coming out. Because when we come out of pruning, we're hurt. Pruning is not easy.
So for those
pruning
people,
is painful.
For those people who don't know what pruning is, can you let them know what that is?
Sure. There you go. You go for it.
No, you.
No, you, my dear. You're the special guest. So come on. There you go. You're pruning. You're pruning.
So pruning is when you take something and you cut away at the parts that are no longer beneficial.
Mm. So would those be those people in your lives that are no longer beneficial to you, that don't
But,
belong
well,
there?
not just the people, your thoughts about yourself, your thoughts about other people.
Ooh. So you agree that we can agree to say a lot of times the pruning doesn't have to be with everybody else, because it starts with us. Because how are you going to know about love if you don't know loving how you are to be loved yourself? Because you didn't love yourself enough to cut away the things that makes you unlovable, because
So
you
stop
know.
there. So I asked you about pruning, what pruning meant. Now you
Go
bringing
ahead,
up
go ahead.
love. A lot of
Uh-huh.
people have the word love like misconstrued and what it means. And that's what, oh my gosh. And that's what makes it difficult for people to try to figure out how they should be loved.
Mm-hmm.
So love is not just a feeling that overtakes you about somebody.
That's
That's
right.
your like, that's your bond that you're creating. A bond and love is two different things.
Please do say what is so different about them. Please
Love,
enlighten
love,
us.
love is when you put your thoughts about that person into action, and the things that you do, you know that those things are going to work for the better for the person that you've committed yourself to. So that means that you have to spend the time and find out who that person is, the things that that person likes. If that person is an emotional person, you need to know how to love them when they're going through, meaning how to act towards them, what to do for them when they're going through. And that stuff doesn't happen overnight. And it's sad because so many people base their relationships off of the feeling. And most relationships that last or that love lasts are those people who have figured out how to love that person the way that they need to be loved. You look at the needs of the person, you figure out their personalities, you find out what makes them tick, what are the things that make them angry, and you try to do your best in curving those things that are triggers for them. But it's also when they're not doing right, you're now that person that's in their life that's going to call them out on their stuff to make them better. That's what love is. It's not just, oh my gosh, she's sexy, he's sexy. Oh my God, when he walks through the room, no, man, because what happens when you pissed off at that person? Or that person walks in and they stink to high heaven. You're like, oh my God, where you been? You know what I mean? Those things. And then the physical, that stuff fades for some people. Right.
But and not only that, some people feel as though they cannot leave.
Look, this is love.
Oh, well then I'm not ashamed to go ahead and finish eating my box of chicken.
No, he brought me brown rice with spinach,
Oh,
salmon,
you gonna
and shrimp.
okay, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to eat that with you.
Mm,
Um,
that's
Billy,
love.
that's beyond love. That I just got a piece of chicken. I gotta make that chicken look like salmon and spinach. Okay. Well, at least my boy did put it to the side of me, because he was like, "You're gonna want to be eating. I know you're gonna be eating." And no, Ted, I didn't get a chance to get my poppycocks, so I'm very disgusted with that. I hope you all got your dinner too. But yeah, that looked good. Oh, honey. But you know what? Some people stay because that's all they know. And some people stay because they believe that they have to, and they're nothing without them. But like you said, you got to love them enough to tell them who they are, but then you got to love yourself enough that when they don't appreciate what you say, let it go. And that's what we don't know how to do. And then in doing that, we cause ourselves not to love ourselves enough. But when do we start loving ourselves enough to say and call our own self out? That's the question. I can recall I went through a breakup, and I was so upset about this breakup. And the breakup, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me. I can't believe I went through this, all my time spent in investment. Then I had to call myself out. And after I called myself out, I had to realize that he just did what I let him do. I didn't stop that. Now, if somebody gonna give you $1,000, are you not gonna not take it?
Well, okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Please do.
Because it
as you should.
Because it depends on what that thing is that you're trying to stop them from doing.
That too.
And
Because if you're doing it for a purpose, you know that thing I like to say, you just had to win. So that's why you did it.
But it depends on what that is. Because
so let's break that down.
Because some things can be a preference of yours. Like how you would prefer somebody to act or things that you would prefer them not to do.
Uh-huh.
But when you invite them in and they're already set in who they are.
Uh-huh.
There are some things it's like, okay, so that's who they are. That's
but you can't come in here and try to change them. But you can't come in here trying to change them. But that's what we do. I like to say we like to treat them like we treat our clothes. We go to the store, right? We see that outfit, and we're like, you know what? If I add these earrings, that belt, and wear these stockings and these shoes with it, oh, that's gonna work. We wear it for a minute, and then we be like, you know what? This ain't coming out right. And then we go back to the store to take it back, and they say you can't get your money back.
Like
that's how we be working with some of these guys.
What I'm about to say right now, and I know it's probably going to put some people in a frenzy. The men are going to be like,
"Get ready, y'all!"
But the women might be like, "What?" So,
all right, get ready to adjust your crowns, lady. Get ready to adjust your crowns. Go ahead.
If you have a man in your life that likes to go out with his friends. They spend time out together periodically, once a week or whatever the case is. And they stay out till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
But you get him home by 12. But that's the bond that him and his friends have. That's what he needs to release. But you want him home by 12 o'clock. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about.
I believe that's when
at least to question trust. At least to question what is he really for you. At least you knew that this is what he was when you met him and you still decided to say yes. It's those types of things that make the difference. And so you have to be willing to say, you know what? Okay, I know on Thursday, Friday nights, that's where they go. That's what he do. And he ain't gonna be home till 3 o'clock. But that's what he needs.
So wait. What did Carol say? Carol said, like the old saying from, was that Percy Sledge?
Mm-hmm.
Said, take that to the bank. Wait a minute. Okay, look. The glasses ain't working. I gotta bring these little bit of words up.
It says to take to know them. Please don't rush this thing. Sometimes when we rush, because we want what we want and ignore the problems just to be in a relationship. And sometimes for it to show others that you got someone does not make you happy. Been there, but it won't happen again. I love me. So
okay, Carol.
In the beginning, you already know, because most of us have already had experiences in relationships. We know what we like, we know what we don't like. We know what our tics are. So if you meet somebody and they have these 5 things that you like, but they got these 4 that you don't, you can't make him change.
You can't.
But what we have to grow, but this is the thing, we have to grow as people. You got to change your way of thinking. Not saying you take bull from somebody out there cheating or whatever. No, that is so not what I'm saying. I'm saying if this person, for example, Frank is a drummer. So I can hear this when I'm trying to write. I'm a writer. So what I have to do is, and we both do it, we compromise. He stops his playing or I stop my writing for that period and I let him do what he needs to do for him. I mean, sometimes I get up and I start moving, but I mean, we're two different people. For those people with children, hold on one second. My phone.
As reintroduced, that is Kim Ontaria Wilson, author, director, dancer, teacher, my everything. That's who we're speaking with today, and we're doing a little sister chat because we're trying to fix our crowns, ladies and gentlemen. And in order that we fix our crown, what better time to do it than quarantine 2020? This probably gonna go a little longer than we anticipated it to actually go because I figured, oh, we just going here for a couple of hours. It looked like it may go in for a couple of hours. If you find that you really enjoy what's being said and what's being going on, yes, compromising is key, Shawanda. If you want to join in, email us at the no bs duo show at gmail.com. We made it just as easy as the show. If you want to come in on the show, you want to panel in, you want to join in with us on the screen here, just email me, I want in, and just send us your email address, and then we'll send you the link so you could just come on in on the screen. I need to blow this up so I can see better. So yes, we're really going in, and as you see at the bottom of the screen, we're asking you to please start your watches, get your bottles. We're going to need a bottle and a drink after this. I need to zoom in so I can see this better. Yeah, we need to bring her. I have my technical person with me who's showing me how to work his screen here. So again, I say if you want in, and no, you don't need to be dressed up. We can't see you from the bottom down. We can see your top. Put on a pretty dress and fit your fit if you want to come on in. But bring your food. We got ours. It's dinner time, and what better way than to be served right now by the way we serving each other. Again, I want to thank you so much. Shawana, email us at the no KNOWBS duo show, and we'll gladly bring you in as a panel. Tracy, you're welcome to come in. It's just, this is woo. Okay, so he blew my screen up to the point where I can't see nothing, and now it's doing his own thing, and then he ran back up the steps. Really? Did he do that to me? He did that to me. Okay. I'm going to kill him. And you know why this is only happening? This is happening because this is a good thing that's going on. But I'm telling you right now, ain't nobody gonna block this thing today. The screen is doing what it wants to do. It's I didn't touch anything. It's just moving on its own. I need to make sure I didn't do anything.
What?
I can't see my screen up.
There's no problem.
What is it doing? So I'm giving y'all another intermission, another quick intermission. What the heck is it doing?
Oh,
What?
it does that.
Yeah, I needed not to do that. How about that? Okay, where is my screen? Where's my screen? Where's my? I said I can't see.
Gotta escape it, but I can't escape it.
Oh my lord!
Just
I'm trying to escape it. So please bear with us. Keep it coming. So Kim, we were talking about the process of pruning.
Mm-hmm.
You had any more on that?
I'm
listening.
I think a person has to be ready. And some people don't know when they're going through that process because sometimes you don't do it on your own. Sometimes it's something that God put you through. Okay. And when you're talking about things being removed from you, people being removed from you, or you allowing yourself to rid yourself of toxic things, toxic thoughts, toxic people, toxic actions, that's a part of your pruning. And you really have to be ready, because if you're not, you'll just look at it as just something else that happened in my life, and you don't acknowledge it for what it is. And there's always opportunity in your pruning, which is what you were talking about, the other side of it. Like you become a better person when you prune. You know what I mean?
Only difference about that being a better person is we don't understand the pruning process and all that comes with it. It's
But
like, we just feel like
everybody's pruning process is different.
right.
That's why it's hard
Right.
to acknowledge.
Right. But the only other good thing about that pruning session is it's much needed. It is needed, but it can't be you pointing at somebody else. It has to be you allowing yourself to be seen. I'm hoping I don't cancel us out. Give me it because the screen is doing something and I have no idea what it's doing to me. So this is what happens when you don't work on your own computer. It won't.
Where's it at?
I don't know.
Where's that?
Okay, there we go. Right here. Right here.
Hold up.
I just popped up on the screen by myself with my mouth full. Sorry, guys. You like it? Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm back. You back? We back? Are we here? Are you guys good?
I'm here.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, so again, woo! Okay, at the bottom of the screen, there go our email address. Do you see it right there? Our email address is the name of the show without spaces. The No BS Duo show without the space. That's our email address. Let me see if I can give you another banner with our email address. Hold on. So, you remember we talked about the experience that you had being at the right place at the right time. Before we even do that, let me make a mention to this. I had said once upon a time, well, my pastor told me that you have the gift to be and do who you need to be and become in your gift. But sometimes you, the person, your character, and the way you think, your disposition, your aura causes you to not be able to stand where your gift is taking you. And I recall when my pastor first told me that the first time, I was like, was mean. It was mean. Like, how do you come off and say that to me? Like, what do you mean by where I am or who I am can cause me not to be able to use my gift? And then now today, doing that and doing it in a mirror, now I understand why. Because the woman that you're supposed to be and the representation that you should present can't be up arrogant, can't be ratchet. You follow where I'm going with that? And some of us believe that just because today that's how we're acting, that's how all women are supposed to act. And if we don't, we acting old school and nerdy. You wanted to, Scott? You want to elaborate on that?
Can you give us a sample of what you're talking about?
Sure. So I use me. If I have no compassion for anybody and sympathy or empathy, matter of fact, I'm going to use you. How you carry yourself when you are about to present being a director. You can't be that arrogant director. Oh, this with the writers. This is no way to write. You need to do this and do that. They're gonna be looking at you like, oh, she's hard to work with. We can't work with her.
Yeah.
You know which kind of director I'm talking about too. So your arrogance can't take you where your gift can't hold you where your gift is about to take you. Now, can you elaborate?
Okay, so I've had the blessing to work with quite a few people, and they are people who are like A-listers and, you know, different realms of the art and entertainment. And what I realize is that everybody's people, like we're all people. And a lot of times when people present themselves certain ways, all we see is like what they put up on social media, how they present themselves at award shows, when you see write-ups about them in news articles on Twitter and all of that stuff. That's what we get. And so they're human just like everybody else is. And they do have their moments. But remembering that they're human just like we are. And I actually had an experience before where somebody told me that they felt as though I wasn't approachable, which was hard for me to believe because I love people. But what happened was that person had never engaged me as a director before. And we were always like me and you previously, Shauna, we worked together, but I wasn't your supervisor. I wasn't your director. I wasn't the person that could tell you what to do.
Right.
So I think it was difficult for them to accept that. But some other people, when they see me, they're like, oh, she's mean. Oh, no. But we also give that kind of stigma to certain titles. So if I'm in the midst of directing and doing business, I'm not just going to shoot the breeze with you. That's because my mind is over here. That doesn't mean that I'm arrogant. You understand what I'm saying? It means that in that moment, when you caught me, my mind was not where you were. And I don't get the opportunity to apologize to you because you've already left that environment. So now when you go with somebody else and they say my name, child, she arrogant, she cocky, but then I'm like, if it comes back like, huh? What? When? How? What? Depending on the circumstances, like I said, I've worked with a lot of people, a lot of A-list people. Depending on where they are, who they're around, is where they allow themselves to put their guards down. Because the unfortunate thing is that they can't really be their authentic selves with everybody. So, like, I've had the opportunity to be, I'll use Teddy Pendergrass, for example. I loved him. He was like an uncle to me. Being on tour with him, you know what I mean? Like, going to his house to sit and watch and talk and like that stuff. But when somebody else speaks about their experience or what they saw him do or act or cocky or he was that, I don't know that. Right. So it really depends on what you're going through, because those same people could have children, and I can be certain that they're not like that with their children. They have family members. Certain family members, some you got to put your foot down. Like, no, I'm not sending you $100,000. You what?
Oh boy!
Like, there's
how about
those things. So again,
about
going
that?
back to why you have these people on such this high pedestal and you have these expectations. When you put expectations on people, expect to be disappointed.
That's right.
You got an expectation on me. You expect
Expecting
me
it.
to do a
You
certain
have to.
something. If I don't
I
deliver
think
it
that
the way
see,
you want me to, then I got issues.
and I had that situation happen to me, and I guess that's where I come in with the thing where I said some things just had to happen, because as for me, some things that I went through in life, it had to happen for me in order to push me to the next level that I was going to, because it was maturing me.
Yep.
And sometimes we have to understand when something is maturing us for where what our next level is. There's a post out, and the post says, uh, God is taking you out deeper into the waters because your enemies can't swim. Or where you going? Some people will going that want to follow you. They can't. They're not gonna be able to come where you're coming. People don't understand the real concept of what that means. And I remember I told someone else, the next chapter in my life is being written, but because I'm trying to pull people from my other chapter into this next chapter and wondering why they falling off, that's because they're not supposed to come with me into this next chapter. You have to learn how to know when your chapter is over and to close that book and move on. But then again, you also got to know about when it's about you and when it's not about everybody else. Sometimes we so quick to want to tune and fine tune everybody else. But the thing about it is we got to fine tune us first. And once you fine tune yourself, as Michael Jackson would say, the person in the mirror, then you become contagious because somebody else seen what you went through and they saw your pruning experience when you looked at yourself and made that change. And now they want to know, well, how did they do that? Or what did it take to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you heard to say something. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So remember in the New Testament, right? We start looking at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and everybody's giving their side of the story. And as
Uh-huh.
Jesus went to each one of them, he met them where they were, brought him into his circle. He exposed some of who he was, what he could do. They were learning from him in the process. So they were gaining, but there were moments where he had to send them off. You go that way, you go that way. You two can come with me with this. But you stay back here. Because you're not there
Uh-huh.
yet. You don't get it yet.
Oh.
And so even when we look along his whole journey that's scripted,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, at the end of the story,
Mm-hmm.
he was by himself. They
Say it
couldn't,
again.
he was by himself. They couldn't hang on the cross
And
with
where
him.
was he by? And where else did he find himself by himself?
The Garden of Gethsemane.
Boom. And all they had to do was what?
Stay watch.
Pray.
That's it.
Just wait and pray with him. That was it. Let him be where he was. But you know what? There's just some people that just can't sit in the background. They feel
But
as though if
I'm
they can't be.
gonna challenge this though, because we've all had our Jesus moments, and we've all had our disciple moments.
Yes.
So no person is higher than the next,
Nobody.
and
And if
that's
you don't
that's
believe
going to
that,
be that's going to be a cycle in everybody's life that they're going to go through. Jesus disciple, Jesus disciples. We're always evolving as people.
that's right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
if they don't believe that, look at quarantine 2020. Some of us is by ourselves in this thing.
Mm.
We are by ourselves in this thing. So, wow. We should be getting some guests soon. I believe that some people are trying to get prettied up to come on the show. And all you gotta do is do your face. Put on a nice top. We quarantined. Don't nobody know you got your pajamas on.
Listen, I
But
don't know where you got this food from, but oh my stars.
we need a commercial break. We need to know where was the food? Where the food come from? My food was brought to you by Popeyes. So my mama made me go outside. I was so upset. And that's why I was so determined technically having the issue because she knew that was at 5 o'clock. When she said it at 4. No, I'm sorry, at 3:30. Knowing that it was gonna take me 20 minutes and 20 minutes back to get back. So there's a total of 40 minutes. And I told you I could be doing something at 5 o'clock.
But it's all
I'm gonna
good.
try.
Everything
It's
was
all good.
you did.
It works out where it does. It does. But I was like, Mom, my mother's being a child at this point, and it's funny because I heard her voice and my voice. If you don't like what's in the kitchen, then you're not going to eat it all. My mother is used to certain types of food and eating a certain type of way with options, and her options is being taken away from her. And I love my mother. Y'all know how I love my mama. I love my mama. I break all rules and regulations for my mama. But today, I became my mama. If you don't like what I'm cooking, then guess what? You just ain't gonna eat. But guess who ended up getting up and getting out? Who did that 20-minute to and from in less than 40 minutes?
Make it happen.
So look, you make it happen. You make it happen. So he still ain't tell you. He still ain't tell you who made the food, huh?
People outside.
Can you tell you who got it? Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on. Um. Just click the link. So after you email me, guys, and I have the address on the screen. After you email me at the location, I'm going to send you the link, and you just click on the link. You don't have to download anything. Just click on the link, and then it will let you in to the group. So now we're going to move on to, and if y'all have any questions, please do feel free to break through and ask, and we definitely will intertwine with you. This is not just how they call it, like we be back in school. Like this is not a lecture. We don't have to just sit here and take notes. We could talk about it. We can seriously talk about it. Okay. So who else is what? Okay. Speak about what'd you say? Speak about what? What you saying, Belinda? Lord have mercy. Belinda, I tell you that's my cousin from Rochester, y'all. She got a yeah. She's locked up in New York.
Hey, hey,
Okay,
Rochester.
so we talked about the experience with Teddy Pendergrass, and it's funny because a lot of us get starstruck and we forget that they're human too, and we forget that they are able to have a one-on-one contact relationship with us. And we just make them so much more than what they are, and they be looking for friends too. It's rough out here. But they have their moments when they're not okay too. But we don't never hear about them having their okay, not okay moments until Unsung come on, and they have the story of their life on Unsung. By that point, they done been to drug rehab,
And
maybe
that, you know
experienced
what,
death.
that burns me up because the issue is people don't allow them to be people. The expectation is come entertain me, look good
Right.
for me, make me feel good. That's all they want. They don't want to know
But
your
you,
problems because they can't solve your problems. What does music do? Music enters into your ear gates and it massages you, it relaxes you, it helps to It helps you to navigate your emotions. Like it does all of that stuff. It makes you dream again. Like it does all of that. So when an artist shows their vulnerability, then they're weak now. You know what I mean? It's like they've been going through stuff the whole time. Y'all just wouldn't allow them to be their authentic selves in front of you.
Right, right,
That's why
right,
I'm glad. Remember when Alicia Keys went on a whole no makeup thing? Like this is who I am. This is what
right.
I look like. I'm not doing that stuff no more. Like get to know me from me. Cause after a while, you get tired of it. And I can say, like, I'm not at an Alicia Keys level, but when you're a performer and people constantly see you and all they know is, oh, girl, you was good. Oh, you made me feel, oh, when you said, oh, girl, you was good. Girl, I'm glad you said that to him. Whatever they're giving back to me is what resonated with them, and they're going to carry that. That's all they know about me. They don't know that those emotions that they saw me lashing out at him with were emotions that I was pulling on from something else that triggered me
Wow.
when I did that.
Wow.
They don't know
How
that
about
I
that?
still got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like me and somebody just had an argument. I just lost somebody. They don't know that stuff. So it's difficult
Right.
when you are a public figure. The expectations that people have is that you are always all right. Like I shared with you before, there was a young lady who decided that she wanted to use me as her piece for this short that she was doing. And in this piece, it was all just movement, no talk, no dialogue at all. But she wanted me as the subject. She went back to her professor and presented me, and he looked at my social media and Google and all that stuff. He was like, no, I don't want you to use her. It looks like she has it all together. Like, wow, you didn't even give her the opportunity to interview me, to talk to me. You just assumed that I had it all together. You know, and I do have some things together, but I ain't always got it all together because I'm human. I'm human.
And that's why we said it's okay to say no, I'm not okay. That's perfectly fine for us to say I'm not okay because it's the perception of what people's going to think anyway, regardless. Regardless. My thing is people see me come out and they always see me happy or they may experience a moment where they see me sad and they may say, you know what? She look like she's fine. They see me with my 5-inch heels, but they have no idea the pain that goes on within me that really is what you perceive to see, that you believe that I'm okay. You have no idea that I have a sciatic nerve that causes me to have to take a powerful dose of medication every 4 hours. You have no idea how or what I go through dealing with my daily life and me and my current condition, and then having to deal with who I am now versus who I was prior to this being just a simple surgery that turned out to be something that affected my life and still is. But it's not because I'm not fake and I don't tell it all. It's just the mere fact that I only tell you what I want you to know. That doesn't mean I'm not being fake. It just means you don't get all of me. You don't know all of me.
Mm-hmm.
My profile says it right there. You know who I am, but you don't know my story. And even knowing my story, you still don't know all my story. And that's with anybody and everybody. But just because you don't tell it all and just because you don't get it all, don't mean I'm not real.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I believe people fall. We as sisters, we fall short because we looking for this picture perfect person because that's what's been presented in front of us for oh so long. The stars got it going on. No, the stars got bills too. And even right now, the stars are feeling what the impact of all of us is going through because we've all been leveled and laid down and cut down and whoo. I
Let me
mean, we
tell you
all
something.
poor right now. We all broke right now.
Listen, with me being in the entertainment business, everything is shut down.
Everything.
Everything. And it's difficult for us. And we're all, even though we're at different levels, it's difficult. Because we have people who, let's just say at this level, you have people who do like regional theater. And regional theater, like those theaters like the Arden, Walnut Street Theater, places like that.
Right.
They're
Right.
working most times all year long, going from play to play to play. They get booked before the season starts to do these productions. So they're already contracted. Those shows ain't going up. There were auditions that I was lined up for to set me up for what was coming, right? I don't even have
Right.
an opportunity, but that's theater. Now let's take it to TV and film. Those things that people are seeing on television now are all repeats.
Yep. Yep. Yes, it is.
No money.
Yes, it is.
No money. Everybody is sitting back like, man, look, when? Musicians to set me up for. And it's like, we're all at a standstill, you know, but I believe that's God just having us to be still so that we can now reposition ourselves so that if something else were to happen, we wouldn't be as susceptible to the low intel of it. It forces you to get your stuff in order. So, but it's another thing that you said. I want to kind of like go back a little bit to when you were talking about your situation that you had with your surgery and all that stuff. And this was something that me and you had talked about before. Was as women, what do we allow to identify us as being women? What is a woman? And a lot of times when we go through physical change or taking away of something that we identified with womanhood, we start to second guess our femininity, what it means to now be a woman. So we're talking about those people who have had breast cancer and now they have the augmentations, or they've had, you know, mastectomies, either single or double mastectomies, and now they have, you know, another type of breast, right?
Right.
One thing that I had personally shared was, you know, having my fallopian tube removed. In that moment, it was done to save my life. So the only thing I could think of was like, oh, if they don't do this, I'm gonna die. Take it. But afterwards, it was, but that's a part of my womanhood. That's a part of my femininity. Like that's what I identify that as being a part of who I am.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Women who have hysterectomies. We identify those things as who we are when we're going through the process. But when we get to the other side, we start realizing that there is so much more to me than that thing. Like, yes, that was trying. Yes, that's what when you look at medical charts and you know the symbols for womanhood and manhood or whatever. Yeah, that's what they say. But who am I now? Like those things don't. If I don't have that anymore, how do I now identify my femininity or my womanhood? And that's a self-realization thing that we all go through at some point in time. It can be the loss of our hair. You know, it could be so many things. But again, when you have a support system and people to encourage you and you realize within yourself, I am woman. I am God's most beautiful creation. I am creation. I am she. Like when you start thinking about all that stuff, man, it's a beautiful thing on the other side. Even the process is a beautiful thing. It don't feel good while you're going through it. But when you get to the other side and then you're able to now help other people understand what it is, that's a whole nother level.
It is because for me that was very difficult because when I first was told, to get it done, I had a vasectomy. I had the everything removed. I had everything removed except for one, and they just left my one ovary. Um, it was hard because I remember not wanting to get my tubes tied because I did not want to stop the opportunity of having children. And then I felt, just like you said, my womanhood was being taken away from me. I remember when my hair came out, and y'all all know me, I was known for my hair. Me and my hair
Mhm.
and my hairdos. And it was very hard for me because I was like, who am I now? And what am I going to become now? And I remember my sister saying to me, what do you mean who you going to be and where you going to be? You're going to be exactly who and where you are. And you're going to rock who you are regardless if it was on the inside or on the outside. You're still Shauna. And I was like, but Sarita, you don't understand. She's like, no, you don't understand. Because what would you rather be? Who you were in dead or who you're going to be now and living? So when she made it that plain, I was like, oh, okay, got you. But some of us is just not there. But so how do you encourage somebody to get there, to understand that it's not it's not that all fluffed up that you're saying?
I think the first thing is acknowledging that you can't do it by yourself. And if you're not feeding yourself positive energy, if you don't know how to, you have to seek somebody on the outside to help you, to guide you along in that. Because you're not an island. None of us are. And a lot of times when situations happen, we kind of like allow ourselves to like just shut down and close in. And we try to figure it out by ourselves, but we don't have all the answers. So when you know that there are other people that are out there that have gone through what you've gone through, or they're just supportive women around you, allow yourself to be vulnerable and open up and talk and really let them know how you feel. And you'll get those words of encouragement. You'll get, people who are supposed to be there to walk you through the journey, to give you those pictures, like you said with your sister. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just like we all have our own process. Like not everybody's process is the same. If, like I said, I lost a fallopian tube. Somebody else may have lost a breast. Somebody else may have lost, an ovary and a fallopian tube and their uterus and their hair. Like, what do I say to that person? All I can do is be available when they want to talk, when they want to share. Send them love. And I believe loving on people is the way to their help and to their understanding of who they are. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense because sometimes we fail to understand that hey, I am here, but I'm not here if you don't use me. It's not my fault if you don't choose to use that option. And I understand because sometimes trust is a big factor with that. Because can I trust you enough to know that even in your availability, can I trust you to be who you say you are to me, really, genuinely?
But that's where it comes into play, where like one of the things that's helped me to trust people, even people that I didn't think, like in a moment where I didn't trust, I turned to God and I asked God to be that barrier and to be that thing that would make sure that person um had my best interest, but the best interest that God had for me. So I would turn it over. I literally, it's a blind faith. And it's something about being able to do that. Not everybody has arrived at that point yet. You know what I mean? But when you turn it over to God and you're like, look, God, I'm trusting you that this person is going to have my best interest because you put me in their hands and I'm in yours and they're in yours. When you walk around just saying, I ain't gonna trust you, I ain't gonna trust you, I ain't gonna trust you. No. You block your blessings. You stop healing from happening. You stop opportunities of meeting people and allowing people to be in place, to be in position to walk with you through life.
Right.
You know, I think that's one of the big, even when you look at our society, nobody trusts anybody. That's why everything is, oh, look out for yourself. Me and mine. Because nobody trusts anybody.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get this link. Go ahead.
I refuse to walk in fear. Like, fear is like the main culprit of lack of trust. Because you're anticipating somebody doing something to you. And again, going back to what we say we believe, if God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind, that's heavy. What is power?
Yes, it is. Very much.
Power is grace. Love. Love conquers everything. Love is like the epitome of who God is. And then you talk about a sound mind. What does it mean to have a sound mind? It means to be at peace. So we ultimately, we determine that.
We do determine that. And once we realize that we have the power to go in, then y'all have to forgive me because I'm letting y'all know right now. Y'all already know me and this hair, we not working. Y'all already know. I like it at a 1. This thing is at a 10, and it itches all day, every day. I don't care how much I wash my hair out the day and how much I put my hair up. It drives me crazy because it's growing. And I'm like, oh, I don't want my hair to grow back. Honey, when the world opens, and my barber gets that chair, I can't wait till he can get them razors and go, and they come on this side and go, Lord, woo! I'm trying to tell you. But honey, before everything, I wish I would see some scissors by my head. If Beth was on this right now, Beth would say, girl, we had to get the tissues out. Because just to clip my ends, I'd be like, no, don't clip my hair. Now, honey, I'm like, are you open yet?
Look at that. I'm like,
are you there yet?
Cut it down. Get it off.
Honey, and at nighttime when it gets to sweating and my hair sweating a V in the back. And it's like, but honey, you know what I think my biggest problem was when I wanted to have that. Here come Tracy. Here she comes. When I wanted to get that. Well, hello, my dear. She made it in. I ain't gonna tell you how many times she gets to try.
Hello, queens.
Hey,
Tracy, meet the author. And as I was saying, when I first found out about the whole thing with the vasectomy, I was like, now I can be real with y'all. I can be honest with you. I straight up said, how is this going to affect my sex life? I really didn't understand. I was like, he not going to want me. No man ain't going to want me. They're not even going to want to touch me. And I never forget, my aunties came on. And my aunties was like, girl, they going to thank you. So you better go ahead and get that thing done and stop acting out. And I was like, I thank God for those people in our lives because I straight was on that tip of, yo, I'm not that woman. I'm not going to be able to be that woman for these men because I don't have that woman attribute no more. I don't have my hair. And they was like, well, you not having your hair and you not having that part of your inside don't still stop you from being who you are, the person. Because you still, you still is somebody. So
Correct.
yes, Tracy wanted to come in and be with you there, Kel.
Hey,
Oh,
Queen.
hey, yeah, no, I was loving some of the things that you were saying, pretty much on point and things that I've said for years. I know we're past certain parts of the conversation, but nonetheless, I know I just came in on the hysterectomy. You spoke about that just now and how you felt. And ironically, I'm going to share this with you as well. I had a hysterectomy in 2005. And interestingly enough, I didn't feel that way about it in terms of men. Well, okay, let's be fair. I was married when I had mine, but I didn't feel any adverse emotion attached to my decision to have one. At that time, I wanted one. I knew I wanted one. I needed one, and I was very firm on it, and that was that. So I'm thankful for that. Gosh, I needed to be in this conversation like an hour ago. You guys were talking about relationships. I did. I'm telling you.
We're going to have part 2, so we're good.
I'm telling you, Queen, you were hitting all the points and talking about relationships and how you can't change people. And it struck a chord with me because I've always been big on that, And I was a flight attendant for several years, and we used to sit on that jump seat and talk with each other and talk about relationships and so forth and so on. And that's one of the things that I was big on.
Your screen flipped, Tracy. Tracy, your screen flipped.
Oh, it did?
Your screen flipped.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Wait, how do I get it back?
You probably just got to tap your screen twice. Okay, we lost her. She'll be right back.
Oh.
Here she come.
Okay.
Here she go. All right, here she go. Hit yours. Are you on your phone, Tracy?
There she is.
Yes,
okay,
I'm on my phone.
There you go.
You got me? And I'm holding it. I don't have anything set up, so I'm just kind of holding it, and my battery is low. But I just want to put my little 2 cents in with regards to relationships and people changing. People as individuals.
Hey, wait a minute.
What's that?
On your text message, copy that link down and just put it into your computer, and it'll come up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was trying to be where there was good lighting, but I'll go over there. But quickly on that, I'm really big on people not trying to change others. When someone comes into your life, they come into your life as they are and who they are. The same as you come into their life as who you are and how you are. One of the things that you touched on, Queen, was like if you meet a man and his thing is going out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, let's say, with the fellas, that's what he does. That's his thing. My thing has always been, let him do his thing. That's who he is. It's not going to hurt you. Maybe it's not your thing, but it's his thing. I feel like this. I don't want anybody to come into my life and try to change who I am. Therefore, I give the same consideration to someone else. And when you accept them for who they are, then you have said, I see your flaws, or I see the things that I do like, and I see the things that I don't like, but I accept you anyway. Exactly. With that being said, you can't then go into in my opinion, go into the relationship and complain about the same things you saw up front that you accepted. It just doesn't make sense. You already said that was okay by accepting the relationship. So if it's not okay, then you move on. You have to say, okay, we're not a good fit or whatever the case is. But my thing is when people get married and they argue about pre-existing things prior to the marriage, then my thing is, what did you do with that knowledge you had prior to the marriage? Don't make that an issue in your marriage when you already knew about it. Look, so I'm just, girl, look, don't get me started. I'm about to go get my glass. What'd you say? Get the bottle?
I told you, y'all gonna need a drink after this. Did I not say it? I said get your drinks and get your bottles because after this, you're gonna need one. And
yes.
I love the way you put that. Like you said, pre-existing situations before. And we need to, and you know what? Music hit on that. Music hit on that when he said, "Don't change. Just let your love stay the same. I'm gonna love you when your hair turns gray, and even if you gain a little weight." Remember, he said all of them will be the same as long as your love don't change.
Correct.
People really believe that when you get in these marriages and you get in these relationships that now you're supposed to change. No, that's who they fell in love with.
Exactly.
So,
and
what's going to
and
like
what
when you get in these relationships,
go ahead.
when you get in these relationships and you go start changing, it's like and they wonder why they're not feeling you no more. Well, they don't know who you pretending to be.
Right.
Don't
Right.
you know? You was pretending to be this person, and then you was this person, and then when they got to you and y'all moved in, you became this other person. And you left them screaming like the little girl, like you left them looking at us going, ah, like a black man. You know, they was getting female notes, and we was wondering like, why y'all screaming? Y'all menstrual on? No, you became somebody else that I did not know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Shauna. Yeah, that you can't lose yourself in the marriage or in the relationship. Don't lose who you are. You know, that's so important to stay true to yourself, because this is the way I see it. I am who I am. I am what I am. I bring what I bring, and you either love me and accept it or you don't. Now, there are things that we're not going to like everything about everybody because none of us are perfect. So that's just not going to happen. But you have to decipher what the things are that you can tolerate versus just, something you don't like. We're not always going to like things, but we have hard lines on things that we're just not going to tolerate. And there's a difference.
I think those things need to be made clear in the beginning.
Yes.
And I think what people do is they put up facades in the beginning.
Yes.
And they're not their authentic selves, and they don't share how they feel, what they've been through, because they don't want to allow themselves to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And what happens is now you've made the choice to like dive into a relationship with somebody, and then you start exposing your stuff.
Correct.
And then you're like, whoa, I didn't know that. Whoa, hold on, say what?
Right, exactly.
Now you're forcing them to have to accept this newfound thing.
Correct. That's 100% on point.
And that's where that's where the shift happens with people. It's like, okay, so you just hit me with this curveball.
Correct.
Now I have to process this, and because I've made the choice to be with you, now I have to try to understand you in it.
Right.
And see how I can love you through it.
Correct. It's like I didn't sign on for this, but this is now what has happened. So now there are adjustments that need to be made as a result of this. And I totally agree with you. You're 100% on point. And that's part of the issues is that people are not authentic up front. Right. And you can only go based on whatever your instincts are and whatever they reveal to you as well. But a lot of times also things are revealed and we choose not to see them. That happens. Well.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. Like you get that little and you're like, wait a minute, it's not clear. And he's like, ooh.
Yeah. Yes.
I never forget I went on a I was
say anything. Should I say anything? No, I'm gonna leave it. No, let me see if it changes.
Exactly.
And you let it slide
at the beginning.
And now you made them think it's okay.
Correct.
So now how do you come back a year later, 2 years later? Remember when this happened and you said, well, I didn't like, why didn't you say something then?
Yes, that's true. And we do have to learn how to communicate because people can't read our minds. So we can't assume that someone knows what we're thinking or how we're feeling if we don't express it.
Right.
But it goes even further than that because, oh Lord, did I just lose my thought? Because we have to be willing to understand that it's okay for people to change their minds and after they see us and say, you know what, that's not what I want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's okay.
But
Yeah.
you tell me now.
On another level too, each person is always evolving.
Yes.
And becoming new all the time. So when you say your yes for the relationship to marriage, you're now watching this person evolve into who they're going to be by the time they leave here.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So and you're learning them in the process. They're learning you in your process. But it's being able to acknowledge the fact that, you know what, I see that we're all still growing.
Yes.
And this is new for you and it's new for me too. So we gotta let's find a way to work this thing out.
Right.
A lot of times what people do is they run where they allow themselves to really be there and walk with their partner.
Correct.
And that's why another reason why relationships fail. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so important. Yeah, in the evolution process. Because in general, as people, I believe we're always evolving, regardless, in or out of a relationship, and then sometimes we evolve and grow together. And then there are times that people evolve and grow apart. But either way, we're evolving and growing. Yeah. Absolutely.
Good.
Yes, it is. And my phone is about to die. It's about to die, but I'm gonna
email you.
But
I did email you, so you can go on your laptop and click the right link.
Okay. The kids. Okay.
And you can
let me see if I can snatch one. Let me see if I can snatch one up. But if not,
it's the link that has the Z on the end.
What's that?
As long as you see the Z on the end, you're fine. It's the one that got the Z on the end.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'm gonna go on and charge it up. It just turned red. But this is really good. And Shauna, congratulations to you. I think this is awesome. And I do believe we need candid dialogue like this amongst us sisters, amongst us ladies. There's a whole lot of things that we can discuss when it comes to sisterhood. And I think you all know that.
Definitely.
Like so I'll see you guys. I'm gonna go on and charge this. Okay, so I'm gonna go on and charge this phone up.
Okay.
Back in. Okay. Bye bye.
On the lab. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Miss Tracy Stilettos. That's a beautiful, candid woman. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. We call her name is Tracy Stilettos, and yes, she wears nothing but stilettos, and she line dances in those stilettos.
Oh wow!
And she kills it in them stilettos. And we're going to have a segment with her later on. So look forward to having another interview later on with her, ladies, and she's going to be talking to us because it's like I always say, you got to be careful what you see with your eyes, because if you only look at your eyes, you'll miss what's beyond your eyes and maybe miss the best thing that could have ever walked into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just with men, that's with women, because you look at me and you go, oh, I don't like her, but then later on you get a chance to find out who I am and identify with me, and you be like, you know what, she's really cool, this is the best thing that could have happened to me meeting her.
I told you what happened with me and my best friend.
Had you just stayed, no.
So we met.
So I'm listening to what happened.
We met when I think I was like 16 or 17. We were both in high school. If I'm not mistaken, she either went to West Philly or University City, and I went to Overbrook. Go Panthers.
Oh, yes, you did tell me, but yes, you did. But share.
Mm-hmm. And so we were introduced by a mutual friend. And she's like, oh, my God, hi. Oh, my God, look at your head wrap. Because back then I was like, before Erykah Badu came out and the whole head wrap, I was already into that stuff. She's like, oh, my God, I love how you do it. And back then I was just like very kept to myself. I questioned everybody's motive. And I'm thinking like, who is this girl? Like, oh my God. And she's like, oh my God, what's your number? I was like, 215. She's like, I'm gonna call you tonight. I was like, okay. That night I'm in bed, my phone rings. I was like, hello? She's like, hey girl, what's up? I was like, who is this? She's like, it's Nisa. I was like, oh, hey. By the end of that call, she was like, you're going to be my best friend. I was like, okay. I was like, this girl crazy. Lo and behold, I was 17. I'm 45. That is my best friend. And she's been everything. Like when I'm trying to like rationalize things in life, when I'm trying to when I'm going through, or just to laugh, or just to do whatever, like we're like two peas in a pod. She's a dancer, she's an actress, she's a director, producer. It's like we're both Leos. So it's
Leos
like
in the house.
We're so much alike. But yeah. Why did I start talking about her?
Because we was talking about the mismatches of not seeing somebody. Perception.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I was telling you earlier, Shauna, like my short-term memory is like,
oh honey, look, we all got it. You all right. You all right.
But yeah. So I just, I would have never thought in a million years that she would have been that person for me. But she is. But our whole sisterhood, getting back to that, because of her, but because of D and Anissa, the sisterhood that we have is like, you're talking about over 25 years of friendship and sisterhood.
That's powerful. That's powerful within itself right there alone. That's powerful. But it was funny because when you were telling me the story of her and how she was, and when you met her and all that other stuff, I was laughing because I was like, that's what people say about me when they meet me. They were like, oh my God, why she's so extra? Like she's so Joe. And when you were saying that, I was like, you probably said the same thing about me when you met me too. You was like, oh God, you know what? Y'all two are kind of have nothing to do with my life. And it's funny because, everybody needs that friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to have that friend because when different things happen, you need that friend. And our chains is made up of multiple people, and that's what makes us so unique, because if we all were the same and we all did the same, we become rather boring. But you need a little bit of, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? And then we all bring a collaborative thing together, and then it is what it is. And it's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to another thing we talked about. And I know some people is going to Bible study, and some people may cheat and not go to Bible study like me. I'll just watch the replay. You say stop ignoring the signs to move, work, plan, start, or do, or show and act.
Say that again.
About when you get a sign to move, when you get a sign to create, when you get that sign to do something, and you ignore it, and we say, no, I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do it later. How should we be identifying our signs, or what should, you get that sign that you need to leave that man, or you get that sign that it's time to move out of that house, or you get that sign that it's time to change that job. How do you tell, what advice would you tell a woman in regards to not being afraid to acknowledge the sign and stop ignoring the signs?
If the sign becomes a repeat offender.
You know what? That's good. A repeated offender. Like almost repeater. That's not it. That's not it.
You keep getting the sign. Like if you keep, it's almost like until you make that change.
And acknowledging the fact that until you make that change, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep coming back.
In different ways sometimes though, but there's still signs about that thing,
It leads you right back to one.
And it's the phrase I use. I say, you always have to go back to the basics. And you have to think about why you are where you are. Why did you choose the person you with? Why did you choose to do the things that you're doing? And you have to reassess where you are in your life now. And if those things don't align with where you are in your life now, you have to, number one, acknowledge it. And then once you acknowledge it, you have to start, strategizing. Like, how am I going to go about making this necessary change in my life? And it's not always an easy thing to do.
So even with that being said, that leads me to dun 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 the gut. You
I'm
know how
scared.
we ignore them little gut feelings that we be having that we don't want to acknowledge, and our gut be telling us, and it's not the gut of I'm hungry, it's time to eat. But our gut be having conversations with us and tells us, and we'll ignore the gut.
Okay, so I'm one of those people where I feel like the gut could lead that feeling that we're talking about. We're talking about feeling. Mm-hmm. A feeling can cause you to make a premature decision without assessing everything.
Right.
And like if you're a person who has anxiety, one of your things you might feel it in your gut. You might feel anxious. You might feel like, I don't know. That could be fear. It could be misconstrued. So you got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? Because some things that you might think were a gut feeling, that was really like God saying no. You know? So unfortunately, I feel like you really have to go through the process of making a choice, because you don't always know for sure if the decision that you're about to make is the right one.
So talking about decision making, I great touch on a very emotional moment for you in your life. And I understand that we realize that some of the things that we're doing, we have to be mindful that people are watching us. People are watching us, and people watch us when we don't even know they're watching us. So can we talk about that time in regards to what happened when people was watching you when you were dealing with the passing of your father?
Oh, okay.
Is that too touchy right now?
No, I'll do it. Because we're talking about sisterhood and friendship and the whole circle that I have. When my father passed away, he passed away from ALL leukemia. And so leukemia, is, if you don't know, is a blood cancer. And so he had my aunt, she's such a blessing. She gave her stem cells so he could have a stem cell transplant. I mean, bone marrow transplant. And his body rejected the transplant. And so what happened was the disease, not the leukemia, but the reaction or the rejection caused his body to basically eat away at itself. So I watched my father go from being one of the most handsome men. You see him walking down the street, you be like, ooh, like he's not very nice looking guy. And by the time he passed, he literally looked like an alien. He was my complexion, but he was like maybe 4 shades darker. He was just completely just not him. And one of his wishes was for he wanted to be cremated.
Okay.
And so me and my brother and my uncle, we were actually in the place where they do the cremation. Okay. And we watched the person take him from the gurney, put him on, and push him in.
Wow.
Yeah. So that for me, like I'm smiling now because it's just like some of the things that I've experienced and certain decision makings, like when he was on his his transitioning bed, one of the things that he wanted to make sure was that they didn't do things just because. So if the medicines didn't work, he wanted them to take them off and just to let him transition. So I had to be the one. They would come and say, okay, Miss Wilson, this particular medication isn't working anymore. And I'd say, okay, take it off. So one by one, take it off. All right, take it off. So I went through that whole process. But what you're talking about was one of my girlfriends, actually, Deneen, who was the one who introduced me to my best friend. Her father had passed away. And one of the things that she shared with our sister group, was that, in watching me handle the death of my father and that whole process, that helped her and it guided her into how she should deal with her loss. So a lot of times when we go through stuff and we think, why me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I have to go through this? This is tough. I don't know. But you learn in the process. But in the meantime, people are watching. Not that it makes your situation easy, not that it makes your loss easier. It just helps you to have a point of reference for how to do a certain something. So,
and I'm glad you used that word, a source of reference, because even now, that's what we're doing. We're being a source of reference to our other sister, and we're telling you, this is how you fix your crown. Because, when I went through what I went through over the year and a half, I didn't recognize that my son was watching me. And when I did try, and when I did fall down on my knee, and I wanted to just fall on the other knee and just give up, he referenced me back to me. And he was like, no, this is not what you do. Because remember when you did this and you did that. And by him telling me that, that gave me the strength that I needed to push that other knee back up and stand up. And even though my head was still down, he was like, because remember, you said you got to do this and do that. And you go here and go there. And immediately, my head started lifting up. He was like, no, we don't give up. No, we don't just give in. We don't fight. Because that's what he watched me say. You watched your father go through that. And thank you for sharing that. I know that wasn't easy. But I really appreciate you loving us and Sisters Unknown, that story, because somebody else had to understand that even when you're strong, we're weak, but we weak because someone else is depending on our strength to do it.
Somebody shared with me a few years ago. They said once you put your pen to the paper, it's no longer yours. And it's once your story has been dealt with, it's no longer yours. For me, being a creative, once I'm on stage, or my choreography, my dance, my poetry, my script, whatever, once it's out there, it's no longer mine. It's out there for the world to see, for the world to learn from. Like with Detox. Detox started with me.
I'm so glad you brought Detox up. Please. That is my all-time most beautifulest program that I've seen you do. And I so wish that Detox would have came a TV series. And the reason why I said a TV series is because it's so much more than what we can look at one time. It's like, I need more. I need more Detox. Give me some more Detox. I need more Detox. When I saw Detox, that's honey, I always was a Kim fan. You just never knew it. But when I saw Detox, I was a forever fan. I was like, what else is she going to do? What's next? Bring it on. What else you got for me? When you did Detox not only affected me, but it affected my home. Because I went home and I detoxed my home. And then family members that saw us, they did a detox.
Wow.
And then people that saw them, that saw us, that heard about it, then they started doing a detox and they wanted to know how to do. So it was like detox became something that was needed and something used. And then I took it into the school and then I taught them about what I saw at detox. So that meant my 1 became 20. When I went into the office and I talked with the other parents when we had our parents meeting, they went home and some of their detoxes were successful, some of their detoxes were defiant. But the point of the matter is detox went further than what you even knew. And detox was so powerful because it told you how to act now in quarantine 2020. So it was like we almost had a preview of what to do before 2020 came. And then when quarantine 2020 came, we was like, detox. Okay, put it into practice. So now
that creative.
Yes, like, can you please tell us more about detox?
Okay, so detox, the story is basically about a family that needed to detox from social media and modern technology because they were addicted to it.
Okay.
And the father in the family is the one who saw the issue because that wasn't his problem. His wife was addicted to Facebook. His daughters were addicted to social media, Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. And his son was a gamer. So all day long, outside of regular homework, he was gaming, meeting people from all over the world, chatting, doing all that stuff. And that was the breakdown in the family. So the father decides to put everybody on a detox, take it all away. So I don't want to give away
the father.
Because
the father put everybody on detox.
Yeah, so we are bringing it back. We've been having weekly Zoom conferences, going over the script. The cast are running lines, like we're prepping for our let out.
Wow. Now, I didn't even know about you and detox. Like, I wanted to ask you about Snatch. Like, what's going on with Snatch?
The snatching. So we're waiting for, honestly, Shauna, with everything going on, like, we're just like in pre-production mode. Like, I have the snatching that's on deck. I have another film that I'm directing called Cyclones. And I have, remember when I did Japanese Asteroids with Jackie Christie and Darren DeWitt Henson?
Yes.
So we're doing the second rotation of that. But this one is called Glass Master. So I'm in the process of writing that now. And right. And because we're under quarantine and knowing what's going on with theaters, we were trying to do it in like October. But we don't know what that's going to look like. So I have a few different projects in pre-production right now.
And I'm so mad because I have those pictures and I wanted to put them on the screen.
Okay, which one are you talking about? Because I might be able to.
All of them. I had the picture of all of them. And then and I couldn't get them to allow me to click it on the screen. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you really doing this to me?
So you click share screen and it just won't let you do anything?
Ain't let me do nothing. How about that? And
all right, give me one of them. Give me one or two. Maybe I can pull it for you.
I'm gonna see what it's going to do here. I got one up. I'm going to see. I'm going to see what it's going to allow me to do. But y'all just going to have to see the other side of the room with me. How about that? Can we do that? And then I'll let you. I'll let you just talk to me in regards to what I'm about to share with everyone.
I'm scared.
But no, don't be scared. It's not. No, you don't have to be scared. Not at all.
Okay.
I promise you.
Okay.
I'm gonna promise you.
That's what you say now, don't you?
No, I promise you.
I
so yeah, while you're doing that, can you please be England for me for a minute?
Can I be England?
Yeah, like you said.
Shauna, if you show up like I don't know, I might dirty you. Don't know.
All right. So I'm going to go through a couple of screens with you guys in regards to yes, yes, dear. We about to go through it. Hold on. Hold on for a second. You know, my Jared is in his meeting. He's usually my other technician guy, and we're just gonna go sliding for a minute. You ready?
Oh boy.
So I don't know if you can hear any music here. I think is this my 5? Yeah. Okay. So we'll see what we do here. Getting to be my one desire. Getting to be more than that. And let me tell you, boy, I hope and pray each day I live. A little more love I have to give. I'm just gonna see why, you know, if you're gonna let me see some of the stuff that I want to see about you. So let's see if it's gonna allow me to move around in it.
Okay.
So far it's not. So far it's not. But that's all right. We're gonna keep playing with it. But you know what? I'm gonna give you something else I wanted you to talk to me about. While I get that part together, and then I can let the world see you and through my eyes. Yeah, I think I want to say it like that. See you through my. But before
I've got my eyes on you.
Yeah. Tell me about your little kids project.
You mean the cartoon?
The cartoon, your children, your world of children, and you're teaching with your children. And
I haven't taught in almost 2 years now.
What about the African thing that you had with the kids? Remember that one?
I haven't done anything with kids. And
tell us about your life in the world of, what was it? The women of color?
For color girls?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it while I'm doing that. Go ahead.
Ntozake Shange, she is was a phenomenal woman. We all know that her book of poetry, which, you know, went to stage for color girls who have committed suicide when the rainbow wasn't enough. I had the privilege of performing her Lady in Red. And Lady in Red was very intense, very emotional. And what that particular piece of literature did was talk about all the different facets of women and how, just like with us, we are a woman, but we all have different parts to us. And so Lady Red, they all went through traumatic situations. But I was just honored and blessed to be able to perform in a historic, literary, and theatrical piece of work. So that was an honor. The first one that I did was with Frankie Darcell when she brought it to Philadelphia. And I did 2 runs with her. And then the second production was with Leah Harris from New Jersey, Lee Arnold Productions. And that one was absolutely phenomenal. He put the whole, like the apartment, and he just put you into that moment. So I appreciate both of those opportunities because they trusted me with, you know, a beautiful piece of literary work. You still there? William Fraser said, never left. Conversation is on point. I hope people understand and learn. I don't know, Shauna. Shauna, you still here? All right, so for those of you who are still in the watching live, I'm just waiting to see if our hostess is still here. I know that we were having some technical difficulties, so we're just waiting to see her come back. All right, guys. So we're going to give about another minute to see if she comes back on. If not, then we will have a part 2 to this phenomenal sister to sister chat about helping each other to straighten our crowns. So let's see what happens.
All right. Are you back? Did you leave? Oh, I know I left.
I'm here.
Okay, so the technical blowout, whatever that's supposed to be.
I know.
I don't know what's going on. But I really do believe it's a conspiracy. Welcome back, Adrian. Welcome back, Will. Welcome back, everybody. Or was I the only one who left?
I think it was just you, but it's cool.
It was just me that left, and you were still going. All right.
I was talking to them, giving them some encouragement. I was like, "Oh, if she doesn't come back in about 2 minutes, then we're just gonna have a part 2."
You know, I'm a true fan and a true believer, and say what we got to say to block what's going to be said or what needs to be said. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember we be on the phone call, we'll say something, and all of a sudden the phone drop like, "Oh, the enemy didn't want me to tell you that."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I truly believe that's what happened just then. But
so if we
as you were saying, you were telling them about the color girl.
Another like 12 minutes, my body is starting to.
Yes, because after all, you was in a situation, traumatic situation. And I do really, 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 really want to let you know how much we appreciate you, and you know how much I appreciate you taking the time out to come and talk to us. And I will be doing another segment, and I will be doing a display so that everyone will know who you were, even though they didn't let me show the pictures. I'll just do my own little display and throw it up there. Yeah.
So what you trying to get samples? You want to show something?
Yeah, what was supposed to happen was you was supposed to get some I was supposed to been displaying some of your best things that you're known for, such as you did the funeral, you did the where's your girlfriends,
okay, so let's just talk about it, and then you can put the everything up later.
Go for it.
So I've worked with the Lawrence Theater Company, who is founded by Darrell Lawrence, and the director is Mr. Damian Wallace. Okay. I've done 3 productions with them within the past year. Last year I did Do You Trust Your Best Friend, where I was featured and along with Tony Terry.
Yes.
I also did with them the funeral, which has been running for quite some time now. And they were actually supposed to do another month run of it, but because of COVID-19 and that whole crisis and the theater shutting down, they weren't able to. Um, and then a few months ago, we did, oh my gosh, I Love You to Death. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there it is, right? Yeah. But as you were saying, go ahead, keep going.
So, I Love You to Death. That was a new production written by Darrell and directed by Damon. And that was supposed to be coming back this spring, but again, because of Corona, we weren't able to do it. Japanese Asteroids, I talked about that earlier. That was a production that I co-wrote and directed, and it featured Darren DeWitt Henson, who is on or was on Stomp the Yard. He was the choreographer for quite a lot of people back in the day, J Lo and some other people.
Okay.
He's now on BET now. There's a show that he's on where he's one of the leads on it. I forget the name of it, so
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. But Jackie Christie from Basketball Wives of LA, she was one of my other leads. I see you have Detox up there. Detox is the production that I wrote, produced, and
Yes.
directed. And it got a little dark, so I don't see
That's the one that everyone needs to know about. Well, for some reason, there you go, Detox, but it's not as clear as I needed it to be. For some reason, there's an internet, something's going on with the internet right now. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So, like I said, I'll be putting everything together later and let them see it. But what I'll leave off in the segment with this, because like I said, it was so much more that we had talked about, but what we needed to talk about was what we ended up talking about, because it just flowed right in without us reading these lovely notes that I made. But we touched on every last one of them. But what encouragement, as far as your crown is concerned, would you say to us women regarding COVID-19?
I would say first, just acknowledge and know that your crown never left. It's still there. While things may seem strange, because it's strange for everybody, know that you're not an island by yourself. If you need someone to talk to, pick up the phone and call somebody. If you need resources for your children, for yourself, for whatever it may be, reach out. You can't do it by yourself. And we're all superwomen, because we're all used to doing it by ourselves, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you need other people, and I've learned that. That's one of the biggest takeaways I would say from this. And in the meantime, during this COVID-19, I'm calling it a season, because we will have other seasons in our lives where we're taken off course, and things are made to be abnormal. Just know that in times like this, take the time out to reassess your life and put plans into action, that can kind of parallel or thrust you forward into your future. Don't look at this as something that was a horrific time. Use this time wisely. Use it wisely.
And with that being said, use it wisely. I would just like to tell us that don't be so quick to fix everybody else. That's not our function and purpose at this point. You can fix, and if you're going to worry about fixing other people, make sure you're fixed first. Because a lot of us is running around trying to fix people, and we're not fixed ourselves, and we're wondering and we're starting to damage people because our perception and the ways of life is jacked up, and now the terrible disease is being contagious and is being followed through others. So get yourself a nice set of sisters. Get yourself a group of sisters. And sometimes your group of sisters is not your favorite people. As you see, Kim said she didn't like hers at first.
It's not I didn't like her. I didn't even know her. I just thought that she was like a lot.
Right.
No. What it was, our personalities were the opposite. I was the chill, laid back, like, what? Man, what? Prove yourself, son. Like, that
and,
was me. And she was like, oh my God, girl, prove yourself, son. Like we were,
Yeah.
So I just had to get used to that. I had to receive her love.
Right. I can get that. I can feel that. Mm-hmm. So as with that being said, I hope that y'all received the love that we planted today. And again, thank you for loving me enough to come up here and spend these hours with us, letting us jump into your personal life and opening up to us to help us. And thank you all for acknowledging the fact that we needed the help. Because you could have did like what other people did, say, oh, she's at it again, and scrolled right past, not recognizing the gift that was inside of the package that we have put out for people today. Maybe they'll see it later. But again, it's like what the preacher said. Who needed to hear it was here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I want to thank you all for being here. And Kim, you already know, girl. You are. I don't know how many banks I can rob to show you how much I appreciate you doing this. But I want you guys to know, Kim was supposed to graduate on May 2nd. And unfortunately, she's not going to be able to share that moment the way we're used to sharing that moment of success. And I just want to congratulate you for everything and every accomplishment that you have achieved, and the more that you're about to achieve. Because like I said, that door falling was not by mistake. That door was an opening. It was a designed purpose, and it was to let you know the door's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for you to
move. I'm still celebrating. May the 2nd.
Yes.
Is the release of Slay Your Legacy. And we're doing a virtual summit. So all the women that were a part of that anthology book, from Friday to Sunday, we're all celebrating, and we're all sitting down sister to sister, like it's the same type of scenario. But my particular portion of the summit is on May 2nd. Okay. And it runs from, I believe, 1 o'clock to 4. And there are 3 of us that are on there. So if you are interested in getting more or being introduced to even more powerful women, Shauna, I can give you that information and you can put it up. It's an Eventbrite link. It's a free link for anybody that's available on Saturday. And I just want to show it one more time. The book actually fell. Give me 1 second. Ouch.
Be careful.
I am. Hold on.
And while she's getting a book, I'm going to also make mention of the different seeds that have been planted that are now about to bloom here in May. And they say the flowers and the sweat of the flowers grow from the rain of April. And April had been a lot of sweat and tears for some of these young ladies. And they have been able to have their products bloom in flower form. And we have the beautiful Miss Adrienne Hampton, who will be doing the release of her new album this weekend as well, under Sapphire. I did have a clip that I had wanted to show about her, but because of the technology problems that we're having here, it's not going to allow me to play a brief clip of that for her. But it will be on the page. So we have Adrienne be dropping her album this weekend. Her interview is on May 5th. And it's like, again, it's called Sapphire. Then we have Valina Hayes. Valina Hayes has her project that's still running on. You can hear her song on Spotify, and it's called Back to Us. And we also have the release of Kim's new book that's coming out that she's about to now show us on the screen.
So this is Slay Your Legacy, 9 Keys to Manifesting the Life You Want, compiled by Sharon Monet and forward by Andrew Harris. And there are, like I said, there are some powerhouses in this book. If anybody's interested, I do have a few, so they can inbox me. We can arrange that. And just to, because we kept talking about Beautiful Toxicity. This is my baby, Beautiful Toxicity. It is available on Amazon. It's available on Target and Walmart websites as well. But if people want to get it directly from me, they can inbox, and I can arrange that to be shipped out to you.
Okay, so always know that any information that you guys need, you can always come through our page. Please, 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 everyone, like our page. There's a lot of good things and new things that's going on.
That's right.
And the videos, share the love, because you never know what kind of love you're really going to be ended up giving someone. Look forward to more of these sister chats. We're going to be also having Season's Greetings. And Season's Greetings is with a group of elderly seasoned women that's going to be greeting us and letting us know how we can season our flavor, because according to how women live today has been tainted. So we're going to hear from the old school in regards to how us as the new school needs to really be flavored up. And then we're going to have a special segment for our men, because we don't want to leave our men out.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be called Hold Your Head Up. In the words of Tupac, you got to keep your head up. So we're going to let our men know, because when you keep telling your men that they're no good, they start believing it. And when you start telling your children the same thing, they start believing it. So hopefully something good we said that now you can believe in again, because the music is tainted. It's letting you know that it's okay to be called a bitch and a whore and a nigga, and it's not. And we shouldn't have to live with that legacy of believing that it's okay and then get mad when somebody else of color causes that. I'm just saying.
That's a whole nother topic, man. Listen, real quick, in response to that part, I was listening to a conversation on Facebook Live with T.I., Tiny, and Monica. And what T.I. said was that the love that men receive is not unconditional. And at first, Monica was like, what do you mean? That's not true. That is so not true. He was like, but it is. He's like, as young boys, we are trained up to prepare ourselves to take care of all the women in our family. We're trained up to be the provider. So if we are not in position to provide, most times the women who have the expectation that we should be the provision don't love us unless we're meeting that goal. So the love is not unconditional.
Yeah.
And that was heavy.
That's deep. And there's a lot of us that don't understand that, we put a lot of burden on the men. And sometimes the burden that we put on them is like a real heavy load. And then we look at them and then we get mad at them, not understanding we put too much on them to even bear. And then we wonder why they run, and we wonder why they hide, and we wonder why they say that's it. We wonder why
they don't want certain responsibilities.
Yep. Because they don't want to fail, or they don't want to be coming with the bashing that comes with what if.
Right.
And that's why, if you ever notice, a lot of men have the what if theory. And you be wondering why they always got the what if theory. That's why, because we have come to that point right now that is what if?
Mm.
And based off of what if, it brings us right back to what we said at the top of the subject tonight. It's okay to say you're not okay. And when you say you're not okay, all right, well then let's talk about it. So until we meet again for our next talk about it, I'm gonna get somebody to make me a song. I don't know who's gonna get it, but somebody gonna make me a song. Somebody gonna make me a song. All you musicians out there and all you songwriters,
I'll get
I
Frank.
know y'all hear me. Y'all gonna write a song, a theme for this, and y'all gonna find me one, okay? Y'all radio stations, y'all radio players and DJs, y'all gonna find a song for this, all right? Yeah, because usually, I would say, "Can we just talk? Can we just talk?" That just don't fit our program, so
Yeah.
yeah. But again, thank you guys. Really, truly honored to have you all. And again, Kim, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you sitting on the couch with me. Again, thank you.
Having me.
I'm looking forward to your next project. You know I'm your biggest fan. And again, there will be a part two. So look out for it. It will be a part two. And look for the display of thanks presentation that I'll be presenting to Kim called Who is Kim? So look for it. I'm gonna be working on it.
Oh boy.
All right, y'all. If y'all have to eat y'all dinner, and yeah, take y'all drink because I'm ready to put my feet up and have a drink on this. I might be live again tonight, but it'll just be my regular sliding into Thursday. Soon will be Friday live.
How about that?
How about that?
Love you much.
All right.
Rest my body.
And love to all of you. Talk to you soon. Good night.
Bye-bye.